When you're a kid, you think of these things that you want to do and you want to be and become. And the rules of the world and of society in general typically don't really apply when you're a kid, or you just don't realize that they're there. And so you dream the big dreams. You want to be an astronaut, or you want to change something, or be a mad scientist that creates all sorts of cool doohickeys and whatnot, like Tesla. Or maybe you want to be a rock star, or maybe you want to be that person that changes the world in some critically important way. But what happens? There's that period of time, I guess, after you're a child and you're having those childlike dreams that are just huge and boundless. And you start to see how the world works. And you start to realize how difficult it is. You start to pare your dreams back. You cull them. You trim them down and make them fit what you are or what people think of you at a given time. I want to explore this and just talk about it a little bit. Talk about dreams in general, and as an INFJ, being that dreamer. And dreams versus expectations versus realities. And how do we balance it all so we're able to accomplish these things that we can dream big dreams on, but still manage to keep them grounded in the real world? It's very difficult. Something I'm having a hard time with now as well. So hopefully this is a good discussion, and let's do it. Here's an intro. Off we go. So, dreams, dreaming big dreams, and how that fits into your expectations and your reality. So like I was saying in the beginning, when you're young, there's this kind of boundless wonder about your brain, and you don't understand that there's physical rules. And so you may be that kid who's like, well, I'm going to go live on Mars, which, by the way, will be fine because there's no people there. Or you may think I'm going to travel to another planet or galaxy, or you may think you're going to dig a hole to Australia or what have you. And you don't understand that obviously if you started doing that, A, you wouldn't get very far, and B, you'd melt and die. So those things don't matter when you're a kid. You just have these dreams, and they're kind of big and amazing. And they're things that you can think about and muse on. But then shifts start to happen in your life, and reality starts to form around you, one that you're very easily able to comprehend. And that reality says, well, you've got car payments, and you've got house payments, and you have children, you have these different obligations, you have physical limitations of some kind, you have cognitive limitations of some kind. For instance, if I grew up as a kid and I was like, I wanted to be a mathematician, by the third grade, I would know that that is not a realistic thing for me to do, because math, just I'm not fabulous at. I'm way better now than I used to be. As a kid, as a teenager, I pretty much had to take all the remedial math classes. I think I took something amounting to 6 or 7 years of math in 4 years of high school. So I always needed a little extra math help. And that was a thing. But I had dreams, and I had dreams as a kid, and I wanted those to come true. And what were my dreams? I wanted to write comic books, and I wanted to do all of the dialogue in the comic books. I wanted to draw. I wanted to illustrate. I wanted all those things. I wanted to create stories and amazing things. I've always been that storyteller. And so as I got on in life and as my years kind of tumbled forward, I tried and I experimented with it. And my art skills aren't fabulous. I can draw a little bit. And then I kind of got into the writing thing of it. And I realized that, this is something that for me is a lot of fun and I love to do. And so that was the dream. And so I took that precious, precious dream that I had and tossed it over there somewhere and ignored it for many, many years. Why? because I thought I had to have a sensible career. And I thought I had to go to school and do this, that, and the other, and do the things that everybody else was doing. And meanwhile, I had this neglected dream sitting there staring at me. And if I imagine it as a person, it would just be sitting there going, why? Why are you ignoring me? Am I not that important to you? And what is it about all these other things that they take precedent? These are deep questions. My mind is filled with deep questions these days because of all the stuff, for all the stuff that I'm going through. But this one in particular is one that really makes me wonder, because we lose that idea. We lose that dream a little bit. And so it just kind of sits there and it stares back at us and it wonders why we've neglected it. And what am I going to tell it, right? My dream's going to sit there and it's going to say, hey, you've been thinking about me pretty much your entire childhood and much of your adult life. Why is this important? Or why is that important? And why not me? Or why didn't you choose me? And so, yes, my dreams give me guilt trips. That's basically what happens. It's fine. It's great. Finally, spurred on by, in my case, just something really tragic happening, which was my brother passing, I was like, I'm not ignoring you anymore. You're what I want. And that's all there is to it. And I can't let little things and little life things get in the way. I think of these things in terms of a creative legacy. If 100 years from now, somebody somewhere in a world where the entire population is different than it is today, somebody may pick up the book that I wrote and read it and be like, holy cow, this dude wrote this 100 years ago. This was really cool and I really like it. And that is part of that legacy. They're not going to sit there and think, wow, this dude wrote this book. I wonder how he handled his car payments and having little money in his account any number of days. Or how did he handle it when he when he broke his hand doing something stupid, like taking his dog out for a walk? It was fine. And it was this finger, by the way. And so there's that. Still doesn't work. I can't actually close it. I can't. It shattered a knuckle and it was just really bad. I don't blame my dog anymore. So that legacy, that creative legacy, is kind of the goal, is to have something that lasts. Doesn't have to be super famous, doesn't have to be amazing. It just has to last. And I think that is what my dream sort of turned into. If you've been watching this channel for any period of time, you know that I started out with this idea of write a book and have one person purchase the book that I don't know. One person I've never met, never spoken to, buy the book and like it. That's it. That's my metric of success. One person, one of you watching, could be you right there, sitting there. Hi, by the way. It's still the dream. It's still there. It's just based in my current reality, which is do the best I can, publish it, and go. So what's holding us back? What is it about wanting something so bad that you sabotage yourself and you say, I don't deserve it? You say, I can't have it. You say it's not realistic. You say that it could never happen. You're basically taking your dreams as that child, right? Those boundless dreams that have no border whatsoever, those thinking big dreams. And you're saying, well, because of where I am today, right now, I'm going to cut the boundary to this dream down. So this is about as big as my dream is going to get. And I can't get any bigger than that because that's just not realistic. Is it grounded in reality? Sure. As long as you're not thinking like, well, I'm going to wake up and create a teleportation device that can send me to Saturn. I mean, you can pretty much do anything you want. And so it's not so much reality, putting these boundaries on your dreams, it's fear. And so what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of failing? Are you afraid of what people will think of you? Which is a pretty toxic thing to constantly be hammering on. Are you afraid of just a lack of success? Of that trying and trying and trying, spinning your wheels, getting exhausted, and then being like, nope, I need to pare this dream down even more to pretty much right where I am now. I just hope that I get one cool thing, like an ice cream cone. My dream is an ice cream cone or a taco. I have a lot of fellow creatives out there, and I want to know what your dream is. I want to know what that big dream is. Does it match what you had in your childhood? Is it something that you are working towards even still? For me, I mean, sure, I'm not creating any comic books, but I wrote a book. I mean, I think that counts. It still counts, right? The way I started out was just off of some silly idea from a prompt, wrote a couple paragraphs of a story, and then it just expanded from there. And now I got a full manuscript back from my editor. And she said this at the end. It's one of the last comments. Her name is Natalia. She's fantastic. She has a YouTube channel. I'll throw the link in the description. If any of you are writers, I would highly recommend her as somebody to watch and somebody to consider editing your work. So when I saw that, I started thinking of this, like, man, I had this dream of doing this thing. It started out from absolutely nothing. It's manifesting. And now I have somebody that is a professional editor that has written a bunch of books that's singing my praises in such a way. That's pretty cool. And that feels like making a dream happen. So what's yours? And are you taking some step to make it happen? And are you allowing yourself to dream that boundless dream, the one that's really, really big, knowing that maybe you won't hit the star you're aiming for, but you can get pretty darn close. And that's still success, and amazing success. It's not a failure if you go 99% of the way, especially if it's 98% farther than anybody else tries to do. To me, that's pretty amazing. Another dream that I had quite a few years ago, 12 years ago, was to open my own karate school. I had $100 in my pocket and no students, but I knew how to work with people and how to teach. So I created a small space in the basement of my house, and I had 4 students. That was all the town would let me have in the house before I had to rezone my house as something commercial. Grew from there and found a space that was in terrible shape, in an old abandoned building, a mill building, and not quite abandoned, but pretty darn close. And completely redid that space and put in all that effort and energy through a back surgery and working into 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning on building the space out and making it beautiful and welcoming. And then eventually getting some students and getting more and more and more. And then we're doing tournaments. And I've got people that are black belts there that I've trained, and they're having their lives change because of this kind of thing, because I'm giving them something that they can do that they really just love and enjoy. And that was incredibly fulfilling. And that was the dream, and it happened. But it wouldn't have happened if I sat there and I thought, I can't do this. The space is too big, or I'll never be able to afford this, that, or the other, or nobody will ever want to train. When all was said and done, I felt like I had accomplished a lot and changed some people's lives. And they've said as much to me, which is a really great feeling. And it's a feeling that I attach to and that I want to do again and again and again. I want to change people's lives with either my words or my actions or something I'm saying or something along those lines. My goal is to help others. And so the way I want to do that is through writing. This is great, obviously. I love talking to you people. But that's how I want to go. And that's the dream that I'm following. And I'm determined to follow. Because maybe much like some of your dreams, I've seen it sitting over there. And every day when I'm doing the mundane things in my day, that dream is looking at me and it's saying, hey, please pay attention to me. I'm really important. I've been in your head and in your heart your entire life. Why are you just spinning your wheels doing this, that, or the other? It's an important question. It's a big question. It's a really big question. So what are yours? What's your dream? And what's that thing that you need to start paying attention to make it happen in that small way? And how do you let go of that fear? And how do you trust it? Trust other people and trust the process and say, you know what? This can happen and I will absolutely make it happen. And I may fail, but I'll get up and I'll dust myself off and I'll have at it again. And I will learn every step of the way and I'll get there. I want you to get there, people. I want you to get those dreams and I want you to do those things. We need more dreamers in this world, especially right now. People that are really just determined to get out there and make things happen. So that's my little boost to you. These are my thoughts on it. Dreams, expectations, and realities. Obviously, there's a lot that we can go on a topic like this, but I hope this is enough to be somewhat thought-provoking and get you to really look internally and say, hey, these are the things that are important to me and critical to me and that I need to make happen. Why am I not doing it? Don't worry about what other people think. If it's writing, make the time, put the words down. Doesn't matter if they're terrible. People, they're going to be terrible. It's okay. You can't edit what you haven't written. If it's music, start playing. Start exposing yourself to all of those different things. Find different influences. Pick up different instruments. Jam with other people. All of those things are what's going to help you grow and help eliminate those fears. So my sweet, sweet INFJ and others, maybe you are the dreamer. Maybe you are that person that creates those concrete steps and is really good at the details and the minutiae of it all. I'm the dreamer. I'm not good at the details. Whatever it is that you are, play to those strengths. Do those things. Allow yourself to fail and be okay with it and understand that it's part of a process. But also, remember those big boundless dreams. Stop cutting it down to something that just fits the reality that you're in right now, because that reality is going to change. Everything changes. So keep the huge dream and just work towards it, because I think that's a better way to find yourself to be happy with what you're doing. Just some thoughts for you on this one. I'll be coming at you with another video soon. I'm working on balancing all of the things I have going on in life right now with all of the social media and other things happening, and obviously the book stuff and all of that. By the way, if you are still interested and you want to possibly get an advanced reader copy, advanced review copy of the book, please, pretty please, go to my website, fill in the contact form, jump on my list. And that's how I'm doing it. Do not send me, please, a private message saying, hey, can I have a free book? That's not what I'm doing. The answer is just no. There's a process to this that I have to go through in an organized way so I can keep my sanity somewhat nearby, I guess. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys again very, very soon.